Alright the Reds, it is Talking Reds, Friday's Talking Reds from the Liverpool waterfront. Forgot my sunglasses, gutted, left them on my desk, dickhead. Anyway, joined by Craig Hannan, big game tonight, England, Scotland, we'll talk a little bit about that shortly. But wanted to kick off by talking about transfer gossip. Obviously there's loads of it right now, and as soon as this is finished we are going to run off and record the award-winning gutter. If you don't know what that is by now, it is us getting deep and dirty in the tabloid tattle basically, and there's loads of it about it. I was enjoying myself actually on the train there reading it all. One thing that I did just want to mention, me and Kate were just talking about it off camera there, the Neuhaus stuff is still kicking round. Now we did this on a show the other day and I was like, I'm really excited by him, I like the look of him, I like how he can retain the ball, I like the passing, I like the fact that he's scored Xabi Alonso-esque goals and all that kind of thing. It is traditionally the time of year that we call silly season in journalism, where lots of people try and make out that they know something, and maybe a lot of the time I think they perhaps don't, if we're all being honest. But there was a journalist that is supposedly respected and all the rest of it. I'm not going to name it. He reports on the Bundesliga, but he literally put a tweet out last night, and I thought, that says nothing. Like it was like, and loads of people like retweeting it, excited about it because it mentioned Neuhaus, it mentioned Liverpool, and it mentioned Klopp. But it essentially said there's been contact, which we already knew. Liverpool are interested, which we already knew. He's quite interested in Liverpool, we knew that. And then it said it's up to Klopp. Well, you'd expect so. Yeah. And then it said nothing's going to happen until after the Euros.
Huge if true, Robbo. I mean, thinking with a marketing head on there, I think that if I was a journalist and I was in Germany and one of the top players in the Bundesliga is attracting interest from the Premier League, from Liverpool, you know Liverpool gets clicks. We know that at any opportunity, other journalists will talk about Liverpool because it gets clicks, gets retweets. I'd maybe be saying something tweeting something to get the retweets, to get my name out there. So I think there's a little bit of that going on, to be honest, because like you say, I've learned absolutely nothing. Like huge news if true that Klopp likes him and potentially wants him, and it's up to him.
It's up to the manager.
Who shines the
I mean, to be fair, that is kind of a little thing, isn't it? I think we knew it also, but you know, like Michael Edwards has been, you know, bigged up to the heavens, and rightly so, because he's got a lot of things right over the last few years. But the idea that, you know, you'd have the situation we did once before where it's being dictated to Klopp that he buys a player and it's almost against his will, he just wouldn't have that, would he?
No, even at times in the past when transfers have come off, Salah wasn't a player that Klopp originally wanted. It was brought to him.
Money either, did
he? Salah was brought to him by Edwards and by Edwards' team. So you know, there'll be times where they'll maybe meet in the middle, and other players maybe not available, and they look to this. Yeah, I just don't think we've learned very much from that tweet, have we? But like you say, look, I'm excited by Neuhaus, and I think that my only worry was I watched Germany the other night, and obviously they were playing France, brilliant match, and I was sort of hoping for him to come on, and then Emre Can comes on, and it's like, oh, come on, the ghost of Emre Can's reappeared, but no Neuhaus.
I know, he's young though, isn't he? He's young,
yeah,
he's been doing well at Mönchengladbach, and you know, supposedly Munich are interested, City are interested, just because Liverpool are interested, and everyone Liverpool are interested in City then say they are as well. That we're getting used to that over the last few years. But yeah, big game tonight, as I mentioned. Obviously England, Scotland in the Euros, it's everywhere. When you turn the telly on, you know, Rod Stewart's on my telly this morning when I turn the telly on.
Brilliant.
Boss fella, to be fair.
It's great. Remember his... in the FA Cup draw. Piss.
Superb. I loved as well, like, you know, they were really sort of, you know, they were trying to keep him on as long as possible because obviously he is good content. And they're just like, you know, like, what are you doing tonight? Like, what's your plans? What will you be drinking? Will you all be huddled around the telly? And he was like, bought a box. I'm in a box at Wembley with the family. I was like, go ahead, Rod. Do you know what I mean? And he's like,
you deserve it.
He was like, I basically had to sell my house to get it. But, you know, up the Reds. Or up Scotland. But on this one, I mean, I've talked before about that. You know, I'm not particularly engaged with the whole international football thing, really, to be honest. I've enjoyed the Euros. I'm enjoying watching the games. But I don't feel like I do about Liverpool, about any of the sides, to be honest. I'm very much a club football man. There is, though, the flag of St George up there. So, you know, Liverpool is in England and that. But that's the only one I've seen today, by the way. On my journey into work, nothing, no England tops, no flags, nothing, and I imagine it's very different in other parts of the country today. But how are you feeling about this game? Like, what do you want to happen in it?
Excited, really excited. As soon as the fixtures come out, as soon as the groups were drawn, this was the one that I was looking forward to most. I mean, it's meant a week of talk of Gaza, and I love Gaza, but I've seen that goal a million times this week. Now, I've heard Alan Shearer talk about it at least 4 times. BBC every time there's a possibility it's just brought on, but I'm so excited about it. I mean, Scotland need no motivation going into this game, and England looked all right in the first game. I didn't think they looked as imperious as the BBC were making out. I think there was a lot of excitement over not a lot, to be honest, but obviously Scotland can't lose, or else it goes into the last game and we'll have to try and scrape a 3rd place. But we Andy Robbo there, like I'd love nothing more than him to captain a win against England at Wembley. It'll be really difficult for them, it really will, but
I mean, it's what, a nation of 5 million against a nation of 50 million, and the resources are totally different, the expectations are totally different. But Andy Robbo is what I've been woke up thinking about, and there's a really good piece in the Times today, if you get the opportunity to read it, with Adam Lallana, who obviously knows Robbo well. Spoke to him, he said, after the game against the Czechs, and he gave a bit of insight in that piece, didn't he, into like what Robbo was like. And I was saying similar to Neil the other day, I thought when you saw him getting interviewed before and after and all that, you could see how much he was like really living, playing for Scotland. He's not just doing it, to pick up a cap or whatever. He's putting his heart and soul into it. And Lallana said the same. He said, there's obviously big games for him to qualify for this tournament. And he said, he'd be playing in these huge games for Scotland. He's the captain. He's the figurehead for Scotland. Then he'd be coming back and he'd have to go and do the same again for Liverpool. He was saying in that piece as well, and I thought it was fair. He said it pisses him off a little bit that people say, Robbo didn't play to a good standard last season just gone. And he's like 12 assists from left back is amazing. and sort of when you stop and think, you go, yeah, it is.
The bit I loved in the piece was where he talked about Gini Wijnaldum leaving, and the idea that the leadership team had been Wijnaldum, Van Dijk, Milner and Henderson, and now he felt that Robertson was the natural sort of heir to that gap left by Gini. And I think we see on the YouTube clips and in the interviews, we see like the funny, silly side of Robbo, the light-hearted nature of him. And Lallana mentions that as something that's brilliant to have within the dressing room, in that he on purpose will break the ice at times when there's tension and crack a joke. And but also I think you do see sort of real leadership from him at times. You see the gnarliness about him on the pitch. You see him give absolutely everything. You see where he's come from, and
slag referees off.
Exactly, yeah, get in the face of Messi and rough them up a bit, and I love all that. And I'd be bang up for him being part of the leadership team, because I think it'd be brilliant. But in terms of him playing for Scotland, like I think as Liverpool fans, and as a lot of our fan base isn't into international football, and that's fine. I obviously support Northern Ireland, but beyond that, I just watch the international tournaments and that's it. But for someone like Andy Robertson, who'll have come up through every age group at Scotland, and who will be a Scotland fan, like this is massive. This is one of the sort of, he's been in Champions League finals, won the Champions League, but leading Scotland out at Wembley against England in a international tournament be one of the high points of his career. And he's 4 years old the last time Scotland are in a major tournament as well. Do you know what I mean? So that he's had all them years of hurt as well. So I think that's why he's so I liked what Lallana said, and I agree with it about, they were a little bit unlucky against the Czechs. They did all right. They hit the bar. Obviously there was that absolutely wonderful goal, unbelievable, like goal of the tournament, done already. So I think it was interesting what Lallana said about when you're a pro and like you just have a bad day, or the team collectively has a bad day. He said, that's sort of easy to cop for, in that you're just like, we had a bad day and we got beat and we deserve to get beat. He said it's not as easy to deal with when you think you could have got something from it. And I think it's fair for Scotland to be saying, well, we could have got something from it, because if they'd have taken the chances, they would have, but they do. That would be my concern for them, is that they don't look great up front, do they? No. I mean, it reminds me of Northern Ireland watching a football team that don't look as if they're going to score at all. And I only saw bits of the game because we obviously were in work, but I mean the goals were brilliant. I love there's a clip of the Scottish commentary where I don't know who it is, but it's a Scottish fella go, "Where's the goalie at? Where's the goalie at?" And it really made me laugh, because where was he? He was
not
in no
on
man's
his land.
No, but it was some goal. God, I'm not blaming the goalie for that, but yeah, I'm excited for them. Like I said, like as for Robbo as a captain of Scotland, it's completely different in the as to being a leader within Liverpool, and obviously there'll be brilliant experience for him to take from that. But it's him leaving Liverpool, where it's like this the highest calibre of football, and sometimes going to Scotland where there's there's a Championship player in there, there's SBL, and that's not me like
he's like down, I mean he probably wouldn't like the comparison for obvious reasons, but he's like Scotland's Ronaldo, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Like, he's a lad who's won the Champions League, won the Premier League. He's captained them. Everyone's looking to him to be an inspiration. I mean, it's harder to be an inspiration when you haven't got Ronaldo's skill set, and we've seen that the other night when he decides to get 2 goals.
And also when 2 of their best players are at left back, Tierney and Robertson. Like in terms of him being captain of that, like for him to have guided Scotland to the first tournament in after waiting so long, and like I said, I know as a fan of Northern Ireland what it means when you get to an international tournament after sort of 30 years of being out as a fan. But for Robertson to walk out as captain, having led them there, it's not by, I think Lallana says it in the piece, he says it's not by coincidence that it's Robertson that's the captain that's led them there, because of what he's trying to implement in Scotland training, that he says he's drained coming back from Liverpool because of the work he has to put in at Scotland to sort of drag everyone up to his level, but ensure that there are levels to what they do, and that's been a problem. I watch Scotland closely just because of cousins being Scottish and so on over the years, and the thing that has always sort of stood out for you is that they should be doing better than what they are. They've got better players than where they've ended up each time. This time they've made it there, and Robertson's played a massive part in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, loads of stuff on the Anfield Wrap as ever to get you through your days. Listen to us walking the dog on the beach, whatever you're doing right now. You might not want to watch England and Scotland, you might be looking for something else. So there's loads of stuff on the Anfield Wrap, video, podcast, stuff to read on the website as well, theanfieldwrap.com. And as ever, download the app if you haven't already. You can get some free tokens, and you can have a go of our premium stuff and see if you like it. And if you do, please subscribe. But that's been today's Talking Reds from the Liverpool waterfront. It's glorious, the weather's nice. Get yourself out there. Up the Reds.
Up the Scots.